us low. They think that we don't know, so we gon' show them that this kingdom about to rise up. They wanna keep us low. They think that we don't know, so we gon' show them that this kingdom about to rise up. Rise, 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 rise.
That's the sound.
Rise, rise. Every time I turn the radio.
What's up, fellas? Welcome back. We Rise Podcast. Boom! We got Marvelous Marvin.
You already know.
JT.
Marvelous Marvin.
There we go.
The Hulk.
The Hulk.
Hulkster.
What's up, guys?
We're excited this week. We got a good guest this week.
Hey, you're gonna welcome
Got
him
some
in
good stuff.
2021. You gotta just hey,
Yeah, 2021. Let's go.
Yeah.
What? I thought you wanted to. This wasn't a Raiders show. What are you talking about?
Come on.
Wait, this wasn't about the Raiders?
We won. We won yesterday.
You did?
Yeah, we went out with a bang.
So did the Cowboys, a big bang.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big bang.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cowboys, that's a sad story.
Let me
Look,
unleash my sexiness.
yeah, take a second. As soon as you talk about the Cowboys, he gets all, look, he's sweating.
He's sweating.
It's all right.
Oh, man.
It was a hard year.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a hard year all around. Patriots.
What, the first time in 20 years, a losing season.
I love it. I enjoyed every second of it.
Everybody did. Everybody did. You notice when Dallas was on top in the 90s, everybody hated Dallas. When San Francisco was on top, everybody hated the Niners. That's the way it is. When you're number one, you're the hunted.
Well, in America, that's
You're
how
the hunted. So you
reach
gotta
it.
live. You gotta live like
It's the American way.
almost like the Predator, because you know they're coming for you.
Yeah,
Everybody wants that number one spot.
the American way.
You know?
So I got a story I gotta tell you.
All right, let's
Before
go.
we get started. Just give me like 5 minutes to tell it. Not even 5 minutes. I think like 3 or 4 minutes to tell the story. I know there's people out there that are wondering, how the heck did Marvin get on a podcast with Jarrod and Todd? Tell, right? And they're trying to make the connection. Like, how'd that happen? You got Jarrod, he's a boxer, everybody knows him. You got Todd, he's a monster, you know, the Hulk, everybody knows him.
Who is that guy?
This is
important. The people want to hear this.
Yo, he was home. This is a note.
No.
I know this guy.
So, people are wondering, how the heck where do I fit in this whole equation, right? So I want to just tell the story. Todd, you haven't heard this before. Jarrod didn't want me to tell you initially, but, we're all family. We're a family, so I guess I can do it now.
No.
So there's a story behind it, right? So I'm just going to try to get through this real quick. So I'm at home one day. I'm just minding my own business, me. I'm just taking it easy.
Yeah.
And my phone rings, Get a phone call. I answer the phone. It's Jarrod. He's just in a panic. Mom. I need your help. I'm like, JT, take it easy. What's going on, buddy? Did you get beat up again? What's going on? You need me to do something? You need me to do something?
This guy.
No. I did the show. I'm like, the show? What are you talking about? I'm like, no show. What are you talking about? The podcast. Okay,
Yeah.
well, what about it? What's the podcast? So we're just not getting any female viewers on the podcast. It's just nothing good for them here to look at. There's nobody here for them to. And I'm like,
here we go.
Hold on, this is important.
This is Jarrod telling that story.
So he's telling me, he's like, we don't have anybody for them to look at. There's nothing here. We're not getting that audience. So reluctantly, I said, I already know where this is going. So what do you want me to do? What do you need? Whatever you need. He says, I need you. I need you to come on the show.
All right.
I need you to be on the podcast. And I'm like, man. Because Todd, you know me. I'm low key. I don't like the whole exploitation of people just because they have good looks and charm.
There was a reason. There was a reason. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't like being exploited for good looks and charm and all that stuff. So I'm like, I don't know, Jarrod. It's not really my thing, but I'm a more behind the scenes type of guy. I need you. You got to help me. I said, all right, look. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to come on the show. He says, we're trying everything. We got makeup people. We're doing everything. Nothing's working. Nothing's working, And then I can understand that, obviously, right? So I'm like, all right, Jarrod, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. What am I going to say? No, it's my brother.
Right.
I gotta help him, So I said, I'm going to come on the show. I'm going to, try to help you as best I can. Get that demographic, get your numbers up, get those women watching the podcast. And well, you know, that's my brother. I gotta help him out on some Goodfellas type stuff.
Listen,
I gotta help him out. So I did. I came on the show, and here I am, and you know,
that's what brothers do. But that's what brothers do.
What
but
are you saying? I was getting sick.
wait, no, don't get sick.
I know Jarrod appreciates that story because it's all true.
Listen. There's 75% truth to that story, but the real story was I didn't call him at home.
Okay.
He just, what was that? You do that Coldplay Center in Boston. Is that where it is in Boston? You was at the hair model, right?
The hair model.
No, the hair model.
Oh, the hair model.
Yeah. This guy come in, your hair look great tonight.
I just got it done.
Anybody had better hair than me, I want them on my show. Look at these dudes. Come on.
Nice.
Oh, man, what's going on in this world? How's 2021 start for you, bud?
Good. God is good.
Amen.
And we just focus on the future. Apokaradokia.
I
I don't know what that means, but that sounds good.
It's a word that Paul from the New Testament made up. It's like 3 Greek words put together. It's like to look forward to the end result. Apokaradokia.
I like that. That's awesome.
Apokaradokia.
Nice.
That's like that. Sounds powerful.
It is.
Sounds
I
Kind
know.
of big over here.
No, so that's the problem. Jarrod, hit me up. New Year's, let's go. Did I get a phone call from him today? Nope. I probably called him 5 times.
That's a lie. His
But-
nose is growing.
Tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Jim?
Jim.
See,
Ocean State. We're going back.
These are witnesses. We locked that in.
And we're going back Ocean State.
Parking lot pimping.
There's a reason behind Ocean State because Ocean State might be the oldest hardcore gym
Absolutely. In Rhode Island?
in Rhode Island, in the state. Ocean State is like, you go back to Ocean State when you've been out of there and and you go back there, it was like Rocky when Apollo brought him back. We were just talking about that the other night. You bring them back to where it all started. Where you get your hunger
You get your
from.
motivation right back as soon as
Doesn't
you walk
matter.
through the door.
As soon as you walk through the door, it's like,
You got a 90-year-old guy in there benching 400. You're like, all right, I got to keep up.
I kind of warm up with that.
Yeah.
He's
That's
90,
like,
so I
yeah.
understand. He's
We're all,
I warm
we're all
up with
not
that.
so blessed.
He's 90, so y'all don't expect him.
So-
I respect that lightweight.
Yeah.
You got it. The guy's trying, right?
Wait. Yeah. My good friend Paul Moss said he's getting back to the old BBA ways and he wants to know who's coming in second.
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh,
So let's get after it.
the old BB.
BBA.
What's that?
That's the crew. Bob Benders Association.
Oh yeah,
I got a gold card.
You do.
I got a gold card. He's platinum.
How do you get a platinum card? I only
You
know.
gotta get a platinum. Platinum card is benching over 450 for reps.
Oh, so is that why they gave me the diamond?
You guys can have that. There's no guy in Rhode Island anymore. Ask my dad. My great granddaddy was a 5-feathered pimp. 5 feathers, not 4, not 3.
I've been waiting a month for
Yo,
this
my
guy.
great.
What was off the pine?
Yo, what was that? Potted Tillinghast's brother. I'm a 13th generation Tillinghast. They've been 5-feathered pimps in our
13
family. How
generation.
long?
Couple hundred years.
Couple hundred years. That's why they're on my podcast.
There's a couple 3 feathers.
From
4
it
feathers.
almost. You guys can have some here.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
With pleasure.
All right. What are we gonna do?
What do we got tonight going
I
on?
think we're gonna. What are we at? About 15 minutes in. We'll
Yeah, we
go
got.
on a break. We'll introduce Sean.
Yeah, we got some.
Sean Soriano.
Edify this guy. Who is he?
He is first and foremost a great man, a great friend, a great son. Then we have the first born native Rhode Islander that made it to the UFC. The first one that was born and raised in Rhode Island that made it to the UFC.
From South Providence.
From South Providence.
Went to Mount Pleasant High School.
All the trials, tribulations, he beat them. He got by him. He kept pushing forward. He fell. He got back up, and he fell again and got back up again, and that's the type of person we're bringing on tonight.
Yeah, he has a motivational factor to him on it's his why, basic. It's his why, and it's interesting because we talk about this particular why all the time. And
Yeah,
I'm excited to talk about this why.
Yeah.
So daddies, tune in.
Let's go.
We
We'll
back.
be back.
Dad,
Welcome back.
welcome back.
So,
Go
I
ahead.
feel a little slighted here. He's got MMA gloves.
oh, you guys didn't see these. Look at that. These are CES
Hold on.
Oh, here we
officials.
go.
No, he feels like Marvin, your hand model.
Oh, yeah, my plaque.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should bring that in here. That Marvin.
Well,
Marvin.
you gotta give him my credentials.
Yeah, but look at the look
Yeah,
at
this-
This is
You gotta
important.
be careful. Look at those hands.
Let me edify Marvin for a second. Marvin is a 5-time Australian hand model champion. Show me your
Not
hands. Show me your
your
hands.
hands.
one, not two,
Not
not,
one.
three.
5 years in a row he's done.
5 times.
5 years in a
But
row.
that's not all I got. What's my other? Come on, you
Listen,
gotta.
if like I said, you're already
Yeah, all night.
you're already here for the looks. Now you want to take it all. I'm gonna give it to him. What else is it? Your amateur.
Thumb wrestling champ.
Thumb wrestling champion, two-time thumb wrestling
Two-time
champion.
thumb wrestling champion. That's good.
He's been all over the world. He's
Yeah.
traveled different countries.
Absolutely.
This guy is he's got some sick moves with the
I mean, nobody can beat me.
The tag
No,
teams.
no.
we got the
Any
tag
Any
teams.
thumb wrestling out there that wants to challenge
You don't have a
Marvin,
shot. You don't have a shot.
no shot. Show him the figure four.
I don't
He
want
does
to. I don't want
something
to
with
give
his
away my
hands.
secret.
It's nasty. What else is he? His amateur record
Oh,
was
there you
stellar.
go.
Amateur record. He was about 0.
Well, listen, that's how you make the Wall of Fame in this joint. You gotta
Yeah.
have a good, you
That's
can't-
how you make the Wall of Fame. We hung his trunks to the rafters when we
Yeah,
pulled
we
your
talk-
trunks up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of, I was here earlier today. Can you get that? Marvin, there was something delivered for you today. Hold on, bring that out.
I can only imagine.
It was like a parade. I didn't
Is that
know.
right?
Yeah, because obviously as soon as you came in and you started talking about, look,
Oh, look at
somebody
this.
delivered Marvin flowers.
I
Wait
feel like I just got
a minute, wait a minute.
I feel like I
Wait
want
a
to Miss
minute.
America right now.
No, this is deeper than this.
I'm like,
He came in talking about, I asked him to come on
no,
the
I told
show,
the story, the true story that we, yeah.
and he wasn't lying.
Right.
He's got fan mail.
Look at this, huh?
Look,
That's what I'm telling you guys.
this is, yo.
Oh.
Hold on. Yo, come on.
Should I give a speech?
Where's his crown? Get this guy a crown. Mr. Rhode Island.
I'm almost afraid to ask who they came from. I'm sure it's somebody good.
Nah,
I'm sure he was a handsome guy.
no.
Let's go.
Yeah.
When they fell, it was all right. They checked on him after. All right, what do we got there? We bringing Sean, right?
Sean Soriano, where you at? Let's bring him in. Yeah, brother.
Yo.
What's
Jared,
happening,
you got
man?
Jared
How y'all
over
doing?
here, and you got Marvelous Marvin, the hand model.
How you doing, Marvin? How you doing,
How
Jared?
you doing, brother?
What's good,
What's
man?
going on, Sean?
Nothing much.
How's
Just got a
that?
haircut, actually.
There you go.
Smooth.
You always got to stay fresh.
You know
Smooth
how it is.
operator.
You know how it is.
You look good, you play good, you fight good.
Hey, #1 rule right there, right?
Number one rule. That's true, man. When I would get ready before a fight, I was putting my trunks on and my gloves. It was different. Everything
Yep,
changed.
yep. Especially when you get that haircut fight
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
fight.
exactly. So
You already
I
know
want to
it's
start.
on.
I want to start off. Marvin, his credentials I can sit here
Forget
all day
about it.
with.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But I want to catch him up. We were talking about you before you come on with Marv. A little bit about your story and your why, and we're going to talk about that. That's something that stuck out to me. Was your motivation to actually bring you to where you are right now?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
for sure.
yeah,
Definitely.
and it's a good message. It's a
Oh yeah,
powerful message.
100%. I
Yeah,
think it benefits everybody.
absolutely, absolutely, good stuff. And he's quite the striker. This kid could strike, man. He could punch.
Seriously.
He's MMA, mixed martial arts.
UFC, you said.
Yeah,
Okay.
UFC. What is he? Is he like ranked any
I think
place yet?
the last thing I read, you was ranked #2 in New England, #3 in the Northeast, and like 16 in the world in the country.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I just seen something on it. I don't know what website it was, but
So-
not bad, brother.
Not bad.
I
Not
just
bad.
want to know. I'm curious. How'd you make it to the UFC? What was the road you traveled to get there?
Well, I started here with Todd, and then at a young age, at 19, I decided to move to Florida and train with a bigger team, more well known. Um, and then it just went on from there. I had to win fights. I went 8-0, and then the UFC needed a backup fight. One of the guys got hurt, and I took the fight on short notice. I took my opportunity that way, and got into UFC that way.
Now, did you ever get to meet? I mean, people are gonna want to know. Did you ever actually meet Dana White?
Oh yeah. I met Dana White. I go to a lot of UFC events now because the guys want me in the corner or either in the locker room some way. So I've been to a bunch of UFC fights now.
There's some top notch.
You know who Kamaru Usman is?
Of course, he's the
170
champion. Yeah.
He's in his corner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you're
that's
the real big-
like my
Yeah, he's
top.
with the top dogs.
He's
He is the top dog.
He is the top dog. And listen, and he's from South Providence, Rhode Island.
Hey, you already know that.
You already
Well,
know.
Listen,
Yeah.
that's good accolade.
My
but nothing's
dad grew
gonna-
up in South Providence.
Nothing's gonna beat the 5-time hand modeling. That's not.
Nothing gonna
The
be
UFC is one thing. But
UFC's one thing, but not, with his hands, man. He been all over the world. He's traveled to different exotic parts of the world to show his hands off.
yeah.
I'm sure you get paid more than we do.
Yeah, he does. And he don't look. And he don't.
I don't have to take all the punishment. Either.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
marks.
exactly.
You know.
We got these crusty hands.
So you make it to the UFC.
Yeah.
How many fights did you actually have? In
I
the
had
UFC?
3 fights in the UFC. I had a bad run. I lost all 3 fights, and that's what kind of cost me my job with the UFC.
Right.
It was at a weird period of time in my career, though. There's a lot of back end stories that people don't know. They just see the losses and stuff. But I had like 3 staph infections that year. I had 2 herniated discs. My C5 and C6 almost went out. But I was still, trying to figure things out and also figure my career out, my style. I came in the UFC, they hyped me up to be a striker, you know what I mean? But then I faced 3 straight grapplers where
tough.
it wasn't the time to kind of show my striking. It was more the time to win. But I was 24. I wanted to show that I can stand up with anybody. And these guys didn't really want to stand with me. So it was more frustrating to me instead of me being relaxed and figuring the fight out. I was more frustrated that they didn't want to fight me. And it kind of would beat me in the end because I would get frustrated and then you would just fall into their game.
Yeah.
So you think them guys beat you or you beat yourself in those situations?
To be honest with you, the only loss in my career that I feel like I got beaten was Kawajiri. My first fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
I felt like experience got me, he was just real experienced.
Yeah, he's a beast.
But every other fight, I know for 1,000%, it was just up here. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, I seen that too.
it's like
So
two different fighters. I know when I'm cool, calm, and collected, There's no one on this earth that can play with me.
It's so true. That's powerful for all you young upcoming fighters, whether it's boxing, whether it's mixed martial arts, whatever you're really doing. The more pressure you put on yourself about trying to do something or accomplish something, the further away you're going to get to actually accomplishing it.
Correct.
But the
Correct.
more you relax and the more you have fun with it,
Have fun with it.
the easier this business becomes.
Yeah.
And you
Because
only
it-
learn that through experience, you
Yeah,
know?
Yeah.
exactly.
Like,
What I
you know,
tell,
like you-
what I tell. Well, I'm sorry to cut you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What I tell people, what I like to tell people is, the dream is the best part. Like when I was training with Todd and all them, like the dream kept you hungry, you know. Once you get to the UFC, you have to pay your manager 10%. You got to make sure the gym's getting 10%. This or that. You now know that you have to win the second check, and then there's little other things involved. But it's more. It takes the way the dream part, you know, and becomes more business.
Becomes a
So
job.
I feel like people need to enjoy the process more, because that's actually what the best part of it is.
Yeah.
The process. Nobody enjoys the process, though.
No.
Everybody,
Nobody.
Until it's too late. And
You know,
you
yeah,
retire.
exactly.
you get that in anything you're doing. Everybody wants to rush through everything.
Yeah.
So let me ask, do you still train often? Are you in the gym
Oh
frequently?
yeah. I train twice a day. I this is what I do all day, every day. I'm actually our kickboxing coach, which he's our head coach. I'm his assistant, so that's why I help all the guys out with their kickboxing. And I go to a lot of fights to corner them. So this is like my livelihood, you know.
So who's the kickboxing coach you're talking about?
Henry Hoof.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Henry who?
Yeah, like he's the man.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's Dutch. He's from Holland. He has like
I love
100-something
that.
fights. European champion, world champion.
Wow, huh?
Yeah.
And the Dutch are one of the best people at kickboxing.
Yeah.
So
Like
No
in
kidding.
Holland over there.
I want to.
Alistair Overeem came from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sean,
Yeah.
you said something
He
earlier.
trains with Alice. Did you train with Alice a few times?
yeah, I know Alistair.
Yeah.
Who's that?
I know.
Alice Overeem.
He was a Strike Force champion, I think.
Oh, yeah,
K1 champion.
Yeah.
Pride
I'm
champion.
actually friends with Overeem.
Yeah. Yep. So Jarrod had a good point earlier, like the background. So can we get a little bit of your background, like your upbringing and things like that?
Yeah, well, how'd
Where you
grow up?
start out?
Yeah, obviously I'm from Providence, like Jared said, the South Side. I grew up on the Prairie Avenue. My father's Dominican, migrated here, and then my mother's from Spain, and she migrated here when she was 19. My parents split when I was real little, maybe months or to a year. So I never literally lived with both parents. I'm real close with my father's side of the family, like really close, and obviously with my mother's side. But me and my father, we really didn't have that, I would say, father-son bond. You know what I mean? And I think during my upbringing, I was lucky enough to find sports, you know. I think sports is what kept me away from everything. And for some reason, I don't know why, I had the mindset that like drug dealing never caught my attention. Even though it was in front of me, and maybe I have cousins that did 12 years, I have, you know, friends that get caught up. But I always thought, like, how can you retire from drug dealing? You can't retire and live off that.
Exactly.
Like, that was always my thought process. And I was so involved in sports that it was just like, this is my way out. One way or the other. It was soccer, baseball, and then I started wrestling in high school. So, like, this one of them are going to pay for me to be out of here. That's all I knew. I never thought fighting. I never, you know what I mean? I always grew up, obviously, fighting. And with my family loving fighting, but I never thought of myself as a fighter until I started wrestling, and then the opportunity came in college.
Yeah.
What was your so you mentioned that you were close to your father's family.
Correct. Which I still am. I'm real close. I'm real close to them. You know, it's just I'm not now that I'm older and I know men at the 20s, we're real selfish. We haven't really lived yet. We want to do what we want to do. You know what I mean? We don't mature as fast. So I know he was probably going through that. And, you know, I would be more at my grandparents' house instead of me just chilling with him, or, you know what I'm saying? Those little things. It was always, every time he came around, it was kind of when I was getting in trouble.
Right.
And it was more like
right.
the Punisher, like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Never
Yeah,
good enough type thing.
Right.
Your father had you young?
He was 21.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but you see, you're touching on something right here. Is his father not being there, and I could say this. My dad was in prison over 30 years, but for someone who was away for so long, he was so attentive to us as much as he could be from the situation he was in. And there's fathers out here that are actually out here that, have kids that, maybe something happened when they were growing up to them that they didn't know how to be a father or whatever. But the cause of dad not being there, it was your driving force.
Yeah,
That's what,
that was a
that was your,
huge
like,
motivator for me. Huge. Like it was like, you don't think I'm good enough? I'm gonna show you that I'm good enough. I'm gonna
I
show
got
you that I'm
goosebumps.
Yeah.
something.
Mm.
Like, I'm gonna be something, and then you're gonna want me to be your son. And it's not, and I'm not trying to talk down on my father or anything, because he's
It's
actually
how
a
you
great
felt.
guy. He actually helps a lot of my family, or his family. Like, he's the guy that provides everything for everybody. But when you're the close one to the seed, you kind of get I wouldn't
Yeah,
say the shit end of the stick, but you get what's left. You know what I mean?
yeah, but here's the key thing for me. Whatever works for you, that gets you where you have to be. It doesn't matter. You could be banging your head off a locker. You can have, but it worked for
Oh
you.
yeah,
That's what you
yeah,
needed in
yeah,
the absence of him. You needed to have this that way, and it's the way it is. But it
yeah. You got to just
definitely,
take it and run with it.
yeah,
It seems like a lot of athletes who came up without, their dads,
Mm.
that was their driving force. I'm going to prove to him that you made a mistake. I'm going to show you
yeah,
that,
a lot
I'm
of them look
Yeah,
back. Even NFL players, you see athletes that are NFL,
Or they
MLB.
want to take care of their mom and
What,
show respect.
right?
and love.
Because there's always
I see that relationship you have with your mom.
there's always a great athlete
oh
that
yeah.
the father wasn't there or abandoned him, and he used it as motivation.
what my uncle told me.
Because
That's
at
what
the
my
end of the
father
day,
wanted.
everybody, you just want to be loved by your father. You want to make them proud.
Yeah,
I'm all for upbringing hard. We were raised hard. You gotta be
mm,
tough. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I think there's a fine line. You gotta be tough, and you gotta correct them, and you know what I mean. You gotta make sure they're hard working, and fine line. But you also gotta show them that things are all right. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to fuck up, or just show that you got their back, and that
yeah.
you're actually proud sometimes. It's like, it's okay to lose. You know what I mean?
It's
It-
what you're saying is as simple as it's the easiest thing in the world, but a lot
That's
of
it.
people have problems. It's love.
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't
it.
cost
That's
a
it.
thing.
That's all it
Just
is.
as long as that's the most important thing I do with my sons. I don't tell them. I tell them 150 times when they're with me. I love them so much, and I'm constantly hugging them and just letting them know I'm there,
Yeah,
man.
you have
Like,
to. You have to, man.
yeah,
You have
it's so key for a child,
to.
for their development. Like, we were dealt a different hand. We were dealt a different card. It is what it is.
Yeah.
When I look back now, I look at it like, well, I had to grow up fast. I didn't like it then. Going through it sucked. But when I look back, it kind of prepared me for what's to
The
come.
future. Correct. Correct.
Hey,
It's
Sean,
like
so
it's like I already knew what was gonna happen for you, but you needed
Yep.
to go through that just so. you see what
Yeah.
life is like.
Yeah, man.
So you remember back in the day, what was it? Saturday sparring at Tim Burrell's?
Yep.
You gotta tell these people how raw that was.
It
That's
was
when
like
I found out you was tough. Because you was in
I
there
was
with
walking
middleweights,
around
heavyweights.
150 pounds sparring these guys.
Oh,
I was
monsters,
like, people
bro.
coming out bloody, borrowing people's shit.
Hey, no
guys.
headgear,
No
8-ounce
headgear, small gloves.
amateur gloves.
Yep. Small gloves.
Crazy,
I was
bro.
like,
Crazy.
I kind of like this.
And then George Rivera was getting ready for like what was his name? The British guy or
Yeah,
English.
Michael Bisping.
Remember he was getting ready and it was like when you spotted him at that time, it was like he thought you were Michael Bisping.
Yep.
Like we
He
would
bloodied
go
my thing
war.
up. Bloodied my
War, bro,
whole
with
thing.
amateur MMA gloves on, no headgear, nothing. Just
Yep.
hey, what? 20 guys in the room sparring in
Yep.
like a 10 by 10.
That reminds me of that.
Like a locker room.
Remember that Kimbo Slice video when he fought that? Was it a correction officer or something in the basement?
Yeah, that was at
yeah.
Matt
That guy,
Santos' gym.
he walked him
That was
off.
at Matt Santos' gym.
That was
Yeah.
him.
In Cranston. What was that in Cranston? At
Yeah.
Matt Santos' gym.
Yeah.
No, that fight.
Kimbo
Bro,
won.
I'm
That was
telling
the
you
best
right
one.
now.
Are you sure that was?
I'll call Matt Santos. I'll get Matt Santos on the show next week.
I don't know. We
We can talk about that.
any fact checkers out here?
Right here.
Let us know. We need info.
He fought Sean Gannon.
The Irish kid.
He was a Boston cop
That's right. That's right. He was.
at Matt Santos' gym.
That's right. That fight was like, yeah, but it was in a basement, and it was
Well,
just
it was, that
so. It was crazy. That was a
Matt's
brawl.
gym back in the day was a little.
That's
Matt's
why-
crazy. These guys don't know Matt, Sean.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Marvin,
know,
it's-
Matt's
get
crazy.
used to that. You play your phone booths.
Of course.
You're still pretty. Look at this guy.
Man's crazy.
Yeah.
So tell us about getting through the struggle, getting in the UFC, and how it's molded you now and who you are now today.
Oh man, well, first of all, when I got cut from the UFC was like one of the hardest things I've been through. It's like you see your dream go, you just had it, and then in a blink of an eye, it's gone. And you're like, damn, I just worked basically 6-7 years to get there, and it just disappears like that. So it was hard to like even show my face. I kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of want to hide under a rock. But I had to learn that, people's timing is people's timing. That's why I never hate on no one's success or nothing, because their timing is meant for them. They're going to have their struggles. I'm going to have my time. And that's what I just kept telling myself. And I knew that I can hang because the quality of training partners that I go with are high level. And I'm not at the end of the bunch. That's for sure.
Yeah, I like that timing. We were talking about timing. Timing is so crucial for everything.
Yeah.
Everybody wants everything right now. Everybody,
No.
it doesn't work like that. That's not how this stuff works.
Yeah, but
Or if you have something, why would I need to want your stuff? Your success is it don't add on mine thing. You know what I mean?
That's
your
right.
thing.
You was young. How old was you when you got into the UFC?
24.
Yeah, so you're thinking you got to push this and this thing's gone and this and that, even though you was CFA champion, AFO champion.
Yeah. Well, then
you already
everybody
accomplished so
half
many
of my
things.
team is all UFC guys, so you kind of it's shy going into that gym.
Yeah,
After, you know what I mean? It's embarrassing, but
you were there before that though.
oh yeah. But I know, I had to whoop ass too, just to let them know that I ain't no slouch still.
You let them know.
Yeah, 100. They know.
Yeah, they know. I know that.
They know for a fact.
No, that's right.
Yo, he's teaching some top fighters striking.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
he's trained with Gilbert Burns right now. Gilbert Burns got a fight coming up with Kamaru.
Kamaru, they're both fighting, my friends.
Oh, when is that?
February.
Yeah, February. They're
I
fighting each
trained
other.
Michael Chandler.
That dude's a beast. Chandler.
So you are back on the UFC?
No, he's
I'm working
he's
my
on
way
his way back. He's got a couple wins on his record right
All
now.
right, good.
Oh, so you still fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just knocked out what was his name? Saul
Saul.
Almeida, right?
So I mean, yeah,
Yeah, Saul got how many fights did Saul have? Like 30?
30 something. He
Yeah.
never been.
And
And he had a
been
winning
fighting
like a good
I
record.
think you knocked him out.
That was in Twin River, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you get a couple of fights, a couple of wins back in a row.
Yeah. Actually, if I would have lost, if I would have never lost the fight 3 fights ago, I would have been on a
You made him a
fight win streak.
yeah. He
And I
made a.
definitely would
He
have
was
been
winning the whole fight. Made a mistake for the CES
But-
belt.
Yeah, oh wow.
One mistake.
Yeah. But,
That's all it takes is a split
That's all
second.
He was killing.
but
him.
I'm in their
Once-
eyes. I go to the UFC all the time, and they know me. They know who I am. I talk to the matchmakers all the time. It's just I just got to do my thing, and I
Yeah,
got a
you
good
just gotta
manager
put a
now.
couple
I got
more
a great
together.
manager now, actually.
Sean.
Yep.
Sean, we're gonna take a quick break, then get right
No
back. All right.
Sounds good, brother.
SFBN Rhode Island. We'll be right back.
Not gonna be walking on each other.
Welcome back.
Yo.
We rise.
Yo.
So, Sean, if I was a young up and coming fighter, or even athlete or anything, focused on, making, what advice would you have for a young up and coming athlete?
It's not gonna happen overnight, and really decide if you want to do this, because it's a lot. It's not that there's not that much glory in it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of grind. Fighting is one thing that you give it your all, and it don't give you sometimes it all back. You know what I mean? It's not meant for everybody. And you really just got to decide if you're with it.
Yep, if you're willing to sacrifice.
Sean, it's interesting you say that because you said there's no glory. And most people see like a John Jones and, all the accolades and he's making, 500,000, a million, 10 million on the fight. And they think that's, that road to get there is so easy. They don't understand the level of challenges from injuries to managerial issues, et cetera, that you have to go through just to be how mentally strong you have to be just to make it to the top level.
Oh yeah. And even a guy like John Jones, how many downfalls as he had, even if it's not in the ring, people are gonna have downfalls. Maybe your downfalls are outside the ring. You can go undefeated but have domestic violence things and crazy things going outside in the world. It's just you gotta just really know that this game is I've seen this game eat a lot of people out and spit them out,
Yeah,
and it's not something for everybody. You just got to really decide.
That's your breed, man.
I was talking to Jarrod about this before too, and it's interesting that you made the transition from fighter to trainer, because a lot of people think just because they fought that makes them a good trainer or knowledgeable, but it's an art form to be a trainer. It's different than what you do when you're fighting.
I'm blessed. It is an art form. I just happen to really have it down pat. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I enjoy my career more, but it's definitely something great to have in my pocket. Especially if I ever want to call it quits.
Right.
I have a job right there the next day, and that's a blessing.
I'm watching my dear friend Hector Camacho Jr.
Oh, one of the
Um,
best ever.
Yeah, his dad, but I'm friend. His son Junior is a good friend of mine, and he's when you listen to him speak about boxing, he's very knowledgeable. Like he knows his stuff, and I'm always chopping it up with him about it, and I love his philosophy because he's smart. But in order to be a good trainer, you have to understand the game. You have to understand it like with this is a game of inches. So if
Correct.
you understand the game and how you do it, because it's not just going out there and fighting. There's a philosophy to this. And if
Yep.
you understand that, you could pass that information on in however way you pass it on, but everybody learns differently. But if
Oh
you
yeah,
can
and
adapt to everybody the way people learn, that also makes a good trainer.
The other
100%.
key, the other key to that is, I'm sorry, Sean. The other key to that is you have to, for me anyway, I have to care about the people that I'm working with.
Oh,
It
yeah.
can't just be about business. A lot of guys, it's like a revolving door. It's just, give me the money, and they don't care about how successful you are if you're not. But to me, if you're going to train somebody, you should have a personal interest in that individual, and you should actually care about them.
That's a good
Correct.
thing to ask. How about Pa? Because when I met Pa, he was probably the first coach that really treated me like family, treated me
Like
like
kid. Yeah.
that I could succeed. How much
Correct.
did he get? How much did you learn from Pa or receive from him?
Oh, I learned a lot. I learned a lot
Yeah.
from him, and I gotta thank him. He was like one of my first trainers ever.
Yeah.
So he built a nice base for me. You know, just obviously like no disrespect to him or nobody here. I just wanted the best of the best. Like if I played baseball, I want to be on the Yankees. That's just the mentality I've always had.
Now you got him smiling.
The Red Sox.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you
That's
said it
the
right.
only,
He meant
the
what he
only
said.
thing we got different is the Sox. I'll be
Listen,
striking
I'm trying
you
to
out.
bully the guest. What's the matter?
I had to
Get
be
it.
straight. I had to
I'll
throw
be
that one
striking
in
you out
there. I
on
had
the
to throw that
Yankees.
one in there. I had to throw that one. But I do owe him a lot, and that's why
Yeah.
even though I don't train with him as much, if I do, I still have a great relationship. When I fight in Rhode Island, I put him in my corner. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
respect, and that's a lot of
Who
things.
we're talking about is
Again,
William
young
Soka.
fighters. I would tell young
You,
fighters that have some respect for the older
yeah,
people.
that's right.
The guys that paved the way, or the guys, because a lot of these guys they think they're hot shit, especially because they're social media era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're 2 fights in and they have 100,000 followers and they think they're hotter than you.
Two
And
amateur
then you
fights.
mop them. You mop them in the floor with them. You mop the floor with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like a respect thing. Just when you go in someone's gym, just respect. That's all.
Yeah.
One day you're new, and then one day you're on top, and then one day the guy you was beating on's on top. That's the way it goes.
Sean, you mentioned something to me about and I used to say it all the time until now when I have the wisdom over the years of, but you mentioned something to me about, and it stuck out to me because it reminded me of myself. When we were talking, you said how you had to remove yourself from the temptation of Rhode Island and
Oh yeah.
picking up your phone and it being in your phone, it being in your life. It's how do you knew that
Yeah.
if you wanted to be able to focus, you couldn't be around none of this noise and distraction that might have took you in a different direction.
Oh yeah. I knew. Look, even for example, I just came for the holidays for Christmas real fast, and I did not stop drinking Remy or having hookah, because that's what my friends like to do. And I'm not gonna change that because that's what we like to do. But for me to be top tier, I cannot be surrounded with that, because something about Rhode Island and something about Providence is that makes you comfortable.
Sucks you right back in.
Everything. You want Chinese food, you know where to go. You need your tire fixed, you know where to go. Everyone has their own little hustle here. Everyone has their own little thing going, and it's just comfortable. And I knew, and it's like I said before, it's a city that's gonna tempt you, it's gonna try you. even though if you're the most humble person ever, there's gonna be a night that you're gonna get tried. It's just the way the game goes.
Yeah.
And I knew I needed to get away from that because I was already on the nightclub scene, and at 19, I had already couple scuffles and stuff like that. So it was just like, let's just be smart, you know.
Where'd you go, mi sueño?
Nah, I used to go, bro. You know, it used to be popular for me when I was 19. Lot 401.
Lot
401.
401.
Yeah, I
Damn.
used to get into Lot 401 at 19.
Way
Yeah.
back.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
And the
you
Spanish
used
clubs,
to-
obviously. That's my thing.
Jared used to go to that, what, the Blue Oyster or something?
Jarrod used to go to Blue Oyster.
Yo,
And Jarrodo's. Remember Jarrodo's?
Yeah. He was a feature. He was a feature at Gerardo's.
listen, I make good money. I don't care what they
Oh,
say.
yeah. Nobody's
They paid
judging
the
him.
bills.
Yeah.
Right?
These
So I
guys
just
are
knew I had
crazy.
to get out of here.
Was that?
I said I just knew I had to get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, the other
Something
thing, too.
trouble or a female, something.
Yeah, it's so true, and it's so hard. It's not easy. That's not an easy thing to do.
Especially when you grew up here.
When you grow up here, everything's here. It's not an easy thing to do because you just get up and leave everything. But
Yeah.
to better yourself because you knew what you had to do to get where you wanted to be, that's strength, man.
So
That's,
what you're
and I
saying
went
is
from-
when you
I
see
went from
something, go
having
after
money
it.
Yeah, I went from having money in my pocket every day to being broke in Florida, you know? I
Yeah.
chose it like that, though, because I just knew that this is what I wanted. So I said, fuck it.
At least you wasn't cold.
Oh, that's the great part, bro. Trust
Yeah, I
me.
know. I mean, seeing them videos, I'm like, damn,
how's,
this guy's
Wow.
how's COVID? How's 2020 affected your life personally?
Well, one good thing about what I do in Florida, I have a lot of privates. But COVID affected me with that. You know, it just
Yeah.
it put my private game to like zero.
I know.
You know, so I just maintaining off of certain income, but it's always great to have that extra income coming in, you know, and that kind of
Yeah.
killed my shit.
But you're gonna take the vaccine?
I don't know. It depends. If it's mandatory to fly, then yes.
Well, I mean, think about what you just said, right? Why wouldn't they make it mandatory to fly? You
I
ain't
know.
vaccinated, then you ain't flying, you ain't going anywhere, which means it's still a way to get everybody
to
vaccinated.
control you, yeah, for sure.
It sounds like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna be.
driving.
I'm
No,
driving and taking
If
the
you
bus.
think like that, then that's when they get the control.
I'm gonna be the John Madden. I'm gonna take a boat and then I go and then I'll be fine.
No, we're giving Jarrod the vaccination right on the show,
Yeah,
live.
Yeah.
lie. Just like the
These guys,
fake one I seen on the video the other
they
day.
think, listen, I'm already in the middle. They make a handsome sandwich out of me.
Hey, so what about all the food spots? Did you have a good food spot in Providence over there?
Oh,
They got a lot of
man.
Spanish food over there on Broad
The
Street.
food in Rhode Island is amazing, man.
Yeah.
We take it for granted. The food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
and
true.
the East Coast in general.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
true.
How about Mom Dukes? I bet she cooks good, huh?
Mom Dukes cooks. Yeah, she cooks good, but she gotten lazy over the years. Grandma.
Putting her on the spot.
Nah,
Yeah.
she
She
knows
might be
that.
watching
A little
this.
bit.
Yeah, you can't
I'm
eat that
picky.
stuff
I'm real
anyway.
picky, so my sister's picky, and then I'm picky. So she just make it more for my sister. I was always out anyways, never
Yeah.
coming home.
All right.
That type of
Tell us
thing.
again, when's your next fight?
Yeah.
And how can we
Maybe
see
March.
it if
I
we want
haven't
to watch
booked it
it?
yet, but around March.
All right. All right.
Okay.
You gained 3 fans, big fans.
Oh, I've been a
Man.
fan. I've been
Yo.
a brother and a fan.
It's a pleasure. It was an honor
A
meeting
pleasure.
you, and we got you. We
Definitely.
support you.
Hey, next time
We
you're in town,
appreciate
you
it.
gotta
Yo,
stop by
thanks
the
for
gym.
having me. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come down. Get some boxing in over here when you're in town.
Yeah, when you're in town, you come here. You got an open invitation.
Yeah, Jared's
Hell
making
yeah.
his comeback, so he needs some sparring.
Marvin's
Hell
the
yeah,
only guy.
definitely.
There we go.
Listen, Marvin's the only guy in the history
History.
of life, of human existence, to have 0 amateur wins, 70 losses, 60 by knockout, and still got his trunks hung to the rafters.
Listen,
That's the only guy.
that's the love we get here at Legendary.
Yo, you
Yeah.
gotta see the ceremony. There were fire trucks, there were police cars. It was
Don't listen to this
crazy.
guy. Don't listen to this
Crazy.
guy.
Confetti was
Oh,
falling.
stop it.
We asked Marvin after we pulled his trunks up, what are your plans? He said, I'm going to Disney World. Get out of here. Go to
Hey,
Disney.
what do you know, you know? Pleasure
But all right,
meeting you,
guys,
man.
thanks for having me, man.
Sure,
Y'all be
I
good.
appreciate Respect,
Thanks
man.
for coming on.
Keep doing what you do.
UFC
Yeah.
fighter, man. That's awesome, brother. That's
Wow.
not, that's a great
Oh,
accomplishment. You
At
don't get to
24
UFC.
years old, he got it.
Wow.
He got out of high school, went straight. I think he turned pro in 09, I think. Maybe a little earlier, but it was 07 or 09. But anyway, right out of high school, I met him as a young, right out of high school, good wrestler. Didn't even start off in striking. I promise you, within a couple months, this kid was one of the best boxing strikers in the gym at the time. It was
I think
crazy.
Jarrod's trying to tell me something. He
No,
keeps
he-
handing me flowers.
No, because there is flowers. I don't know. There's no name on it. It was like anonymous.
Well, how do you know it wasn't for you?
No, they said Marvin.
No, that's what they
Yeah.
said. They just said, hey, give this to
Show
Marvin.
me a picture.
We don't know who this is from, but just give it to Marvin.
Yeah, look at this. It
Oh, there
said
you
something about like New Year and new me.
Oh, is that right?
I don't know.
Where's the card at?
There's no time.
Exactly.
Hey, so I want to touch on something Sean was saying. So go in there and be humble. Have some humility when you go to someone else's spot or someone's
For
gym
young fighters.
for young fighters. So the word of the day is, when pride comes, then comes disgrace. But with humility comes wisdom.
There you go.
So come in, learn, be humble.
Where'd you find these fucking words?
Oh,
Why you gotta?
Shut up.
Here goes the neighborhood.
Did you read the sign? No swearing.
No, I-
You gotta check that. You know, everybody. We all know
We got a guest
the
over there.
silent majority. He reminds me of Paulie in Rocky. Remember when they said, "Who are you?" And we did the Russian press conference. He said, "I'm the silent majority."
Swearing is only lack of a better word, but sometimes there's no better words than that swear.
Thank you.
Nah, I don't know. I'm staying in the light. I'm staying.
They chose the wrong crowd.
You're on the wrong side of the room.
Todd, it's in the light. Get him a better bowl.
Oh yeah,
It was a
tan them
great
up.
show. I enjoyed our guest tonight. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good show tonight. I love his story,
Yeah.
being from Rhode Island.
I didn't even know the guy. I feel like
Yeah.
I just learned something new. So
What is this?
He's known as one of the
people that
best
you
strikers in the
mentioned, right?
world, man. Like
One of the
There-
best-
there-
with all the
fighters you
UFC
mentioned,
fighters.
Where'd he come from?
Where'd he come
South
from?
Providence.
Hey.
I missed my fight.
I want.
where I'm from.
Hey.
That's why my record's
That's
so
where I'm from.
good.
Doing that?
I'm from the bucket in Central
I
Florida.
am now.
Sparkle City, baby.
I'm from.
Sparkle City.
You're from Providence Town. Get out of here.
Oh,
All right, wait. No, I know.
what are you trying to say?
Wait, no.
What's wrong with
Yeah,
that?
we gotta
Nothing.
turn
Let's
the
think.
car around on that one.
No, it doesn't. Listen. What was I just gonna say? I couldn't stop. Stop. Oh, I wanted to say this. Do you see these gentlemen today with their? I come walking in. They come walking in. They're like made rompers. Stand up.
I don't know. Mine looks
I
good
don't-
on
I
me.
don't-
Stand up. Show them the
I don't
shorts.
know.
It's like the shorts are sewed into the shirt.
I got
Stand up. Show
a
them.
I got a
Oh,
schmedium.
you're not supposed to bring weapons into this.
I got a
Yeah,
schmedium.
yeah.
What you got?
He put that on with his shoes.
Quadruple
on.
X?
Quadruple X, you know.
Wow, that's a, yeah. See, that's why I sit over here and making me look small.
Listen,
Make Jarrod look small.
Marvin, the numbers are gonna be super high.
Good interview.
You know,
guys.
new-
Good interview.
Yeah,
Thank
new
you.
guest. What, till next week?
No, because you mean
So
super high
next
because,
week.
You know,
So
one
next
thing,
week.
you know what?
You have our property
Gary,
value.
Gary, you ought to try this just one time. Starting on time.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
there you
Yeah,
go. He's got
we've
his
been
hand
running-
He's
been
getting a
running
verbal
late. He's
beating
right.
from his father right
He's
now.
right, he's
right
right.
over his knee.
Our show comes on at 6, but Todd and Marvin are always in the
Marvin.
makeup truck.
Marvin.
So,
Marvin.
well, till next week, we rise. We have a very, I want to say
Oh
this.
yeah, let it be.
I want to say this, thanks to Damon Feldman, my dear friend. 80% chance right now at this moment. Our next week guest would be Joe Judice, Real Housewives of New Jersey. He's got a story. I started watching him you know, in the days of marriage, and he got deported. He was but I love it. He's got a
What's
good
his name,
story.
Jared?
Joe Judice.
Was he one of the producers or something, or an actor?
Reality TV.
It's a reality TV.
I know that, but
But he was
what's
so
he do?
cool. Like the cameras are all around, and he was like, "Get that camera away from me." Like, you could tell he didn't want to. And out of everybody, I just liked him. I know he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you know, then he
sucked into
got
some-
he got himself jammed up, and they deported him to Italy, and he's fighting on
So
celebrity.
live from Italy, hopefully.
Yes, it's going to be live from
Live
Italy.
from
So we're
Italy.
going to adjust our time zone for that because it's 6 hours ahead.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yes, so we got to figure out how we're going to make that work. But I'm in the process
No
right now.
concrete that day.
Yeah, we're in the process right now. So the show might have to be earlier because it's a 6 hour difference there.
So then we'll probably start at 6.
So we'll probably start on
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
We'll probably finally be on time.
There you go.
All right, people, till next Monday night, 6 a.m.
SFBN Rhode Island.
Do something that helps someone.
Legendary.
We out.
Legendary.